I'm Robert, and I'm stupid. I don't mean I'm uneducated. I don't mean I'm incapable. But I do mean that as of today, I'm officially resigning from the exhausting full time job of pretending to be smart. And I think you should too. Look at your feed on your phone or on your computer and just tell me what you see. I see a crisis of competence signaling, everyone performing intelligence, curated certainty, the "I figured it out" energy from people who are just one bad month away from falling apart. Here's what I've learned. Smart is fragile. Think about the smartest person you know, not the wisest, the smartest. The one with the credentials, the answers, the initials after their name, the expertise. What happens when they make a mistake? They panic, they deflect, they hide it because their entire identity is built on being right. Their sense of self is a porcelain vase, beautiful, impressive, and terrifyingly easy to shatter. Now think about the stupid person, not the incompetent one, not the lazy one, the one who has the courage to stand in a room full of experts and say, I don't understand what that acronym means. Or, can you explain that again? I'm kind of lost. Or, this is probably a dumb question, but that person that's willing to do that is dangerous. That person is powerful because that person has nothing to lose and everything to learn. The stupid movement isn't about self-depreciation. It's about self-liberation. And let me show you what I mean. Let's talk about something called the ignoramus paradox. In the scientific revolution, the thing that created the entire modern world that we live in, it didn't actually begin with a discovery. It began with an admission. Ignoramus is Latin for "we do not know." Before science, every culture believed the important questions had already been answered. The answers were in the sacred texts, the ancient wisdom, the experts of the past. And then science said, actually, we don't know. But let's find out. The admission "we don't know" created everything: medicine, technology, the phone you're watching this on. Certainty is the end of growth. Ignorance is the beginning of power. Let's talk about something I call the vacuum principle. And here's the mechanism of how that works. Ignorance isn't a void, it's a vacuum. A void is empty and dead, but a vacuum, that has the force of physics. It pulls things in. So when you walk into a room and say, "I know," you push data away. You're full. There's no room for more information. But when you walk into a room and say, "I don't know," you create a vacuum. Information, help, truth, they all rush in to fill the space. The smart person is full. They can't learn because they think they already know. The stupid person is empty, and emptiness is capacity. The antifragile mind. One more piece. There's a concept called antifragility. Things that get stronger from disorder, from failure, from being wrong. Smart is fragile. It breaks when it's challenged. Stupid is anti-fragile. Every mistake is data. Every failure is education. Every "I don't know" is an invitation. The smartest people in history weren't the ones that had the answers. They were the ones that had the questions. Socrates was declared the wisest man in Athens solely because he admitted,
I know
that I know nothing."
I know that I know nothing.
That's not a weakness. That's the ultimate power move. Let me show you how this works in the real world with a slightly dated story that I know you've heard, but the Wright brothers versus the expert. In 1903, there was a race to build the first flying machine. A lot of you know half this story, but don't know the other half. Because on one side, Samuel Langley, secretary of the Smithsonian, friend of Andrew Carnegie, $70,000 equivalent of millions in government funding, the best engineers, the finest materials. The press treated his success as inevitable. On the other hand, two bicycle mechanics from Ohio, no college degree, no funding, about $1,000 from their bike shop. That's it. Langley was smart. He built in secret. He focused on power, bigger engines, more force. He couldn't afford to fail publicly, so he had to go big or go home because his reputation was on the line. The Wright brothers were stupid. They crashed over and over in public. At Kitty Hawk, they focused on control, not power. They treated every crash as a lesson. Can you think of anyone in the modern day that's like this? Elon Musk. On December 17th, 1903, those same stupid bicycle mechanics, they flew. The Smithsonian secretary fished his machine out of the Potomac River twice. Langley was too smart to look stupid, and that's why he failed. The Wrights were stupid enough to crash until they figured it out, and that's why they changed the world. So here's what the stupid movement actually is. It's not about being unintelligent. It's about being undefended. It's the courage to ask the question everyone's thinking, but no one will say. The humility to admit, I don't know, when everyone else is pretending to know. It's the freedom to fail, to crash, to look stupid, to look foolish, because you know that's where the learning actually lives. We are the people who were told we ask too many questions, the people who were called too much because we couldn't accept that's just how it's done, the people who were labeled stupid because we didn't perform intelligence the way the systems demanded, and we're done apologizing for it. If you've ever felt exhausted by the need to be right, if you ever stayed silent because you didn't want to look dumb, if you ever had the obvious question that no one was asking, you're one of us. Welcome to the stupid movement. Here's the truth that nobody tells you. Stupid was never about your intelligence. It was about your light. They called you stupid because your questions made them uncomfortable, because your curiosity threatened their certainty. Because if you believed you were stupid, you'd stop trying to be what you actually are. But look, you're still here. You're still asking. You're still building. That's not stupid. That's dangerous. I'm Robert. This is the stupid movement. Own your stupid. Rewrite your story. And stick with me as we explore a lot more because we're just getting started.